The famous wood binding came from China. We call the 3-inch feet or the lotus feet. And the olden days in China, they believe the smallest feet you have, the most beautiful lady you are. And a lot of children die very young, 3, 4 years old. They are still young, the bones are soft, they bend the bone until it breaks.
Foot binding was a historical Chinese practice involving the intentional breaking and tightly binding of young girls' feet to alter their shape and size. The term 3-inch golden lotus refers to the idealized foot size in the Chinese tradition of foot binding, where the feet were painfully reshaped to be no longer than 3 Chinese inches, which equals approximately to 11 centimeters or 4.3 inches. The resulting modified feet were called lotus feet, and the specially made footwear became known as lotus shoes. During late imperial China, bound feet were regarded by the upper-class Chinese as symbols of status and as markers of refined beauty. Lotus shoes, crafted with delicate precision from cotton or silk, were so petite they could rest easily in the palm of one's hand. These shoes trace their origin to ancient China as far back as the Tang Dynasty, over 1,000 years ago. The practice began to decline only in the early 20th century, spurred by the momentum of anti-foot binding campaigns. When I visited the Peranakan Museum in Penang, Malaysia, I became fascinated by the legendary 3-inch lotus feet. During my museum visit, Uncle Stanley, our guide, shared how women had their feet bound to achieve the iconic lotus shape. Toes were painfully broken and bent toward the sole, except for the big toe, which helped with balance. The foot was then tightly wrapped to restrict growth.
These shoes are meant for adults and nothing to do with the nyonya. The famous wood binding came from China. We call the 3-inch feet or the lotus feet. And the olden days in China, they believe the smallest feet you have, the most beautiful lady you are. At the same time, they believe the wife cannot run away from the husband. And a lot of children die very young, 3, 4 years old. They are still young, the bones are soft, they bend the bone until it breaks. One line. No injection, no painkiller, no antibiotic. A lot of them, they die from gangrene and infection. Until rebel in China, 1917, Dr. Sun Yat-sen became the leader. He put a full stop to this culture. So because of Dr. Sun Yat-sen, no more foot binding. And foot binding are only for the rich family. Not everyone perform foot binding. And once she perform foot binding, at least 2 servants will take care of her until the day she died. My younger days, I could still see a lot, but today no more, all gone already.
Seeing the delicate shoe on display, I was stunned. How could an adult foot possibly fit into something so impossibly tiny? Out of sheer curiosity, I bought a pair as a souvenir. Placing it on my palm really put things into perspective. The size was unbelievable. Compared to a modern high heel, the contrast was striking. Months later, while exploring Jonker Street in Malacca, I discovered a traditional shoemaking shop specializing in lotus feet shoes. Mr. Yo and his brother welcomed me warmly, proudly sharing the history of their family-run business spanning 3 generations, more than 100 years. Their craftsmanship is so renowned, a former French president even stopped by and left his autograph in their guest notebook. They believe their shop is the last one on earth still making these shoes by hand. Each pair takes an entire week to complete. Very few women who actually wore them are still alive. Nowadays, most customers buy the shoes as collectible souvenirs. To me, the Lotus shoe reflects a bygone era of beauty standards among the elite, akin to how high heels are admired today, but with a much darker twist. Feet were painfully deformed to stay small. The same can be said of high heels. It may be stylish, but they come with a hefty health price tag if worn frequently or for long periods. I also drew a parallel between foot binding and contemporary plastic surgery, as both reflect socially motivated alterations to the human body. Although I didn't get to see the Lotus shoemaking process firsthand, I was lucky to witness how they craft beaded shoes, another Peranakan specialty. Every bead is hand-sewn, taking up to 3 weeks to finish. And each pair is priced at 300 Malaysia dollars. Take a closer look at it. These beads are sewn one by one onto the shoe, a very tedious work indeed. If you're ever in Malacca, Mr. Yo's shop is right on Jonker Street, just a short walk from the courtyard at Hiran Boutique Hotel and near the Peranakan Museum. Definitely worth a visit. Do like, subscribe, and share my channel.